I want to be able to have my own business. I want to have like things that I'm ambitious about and not rely on a man to like fully like always take care of me.
Okay, cool. You can pay for the first date, I guess. Okay, cool.
And I'm not saying like you should pay for the first date.
Oh.
You should.
Oh.
As a man that's taking on a girl on a date, first date, yes.
Do you guys,
I'm just saying
question
in
for the
general.
panel on that. Do you think as a man should pay for the first date?
Yes.
Yes.
Period.
Going around the table,
Yes.
into the mic, please.
Yes.
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 Thank you, I'm sorry.
I think it depends who initiated the date first.
Have you ever asked a guy out?
No. I wasn't dating.
Exactly.
But I wasn't dating like throughout my high school years.
Depends on
So
who
I wasn't-
asks, but I never ask.
But
I get it.
even when they did ask me on a date, I would always say I will go half with you.
That's fair.
Yes.
Okay.
Always go half.
Yes, the guy should pay.
Definitely.
So those of you who have OnlyFans, if your position is yes, the guy should pay for a first date because that's traditional, so too then should it be the case that a woman should not be doing porn and have OnlyFans? If we're talking about should,
What does that have to do with paying on the first date?
but you have a very traditional view of men's gender
and
roles.
they know that before they go on a date with me. So if they choose to go on that date with
Right,
me,
but y'all are saying men should adhere to this traditional gender role of being chivalrous and being gentlemen. It's not traditional to be fucking popping your pussy and doing all this extra shit and having OnlyFans
then
and doing porn.
don't go on a date with a girl
Yeah,
that
literally.
pops her pussy
That's
if you don't
Right,
like
but you're
that.
it's a contradict. It's a,
You know
it's
what
a,
I mean? Like obviously there's
yes,
going to be no
I
expectation
agree.
for
If
you
you,
to pay
as a
on the
guy,
first
you,
date, like,
I agree with you. As a guy, if you don't want to date an OnlyFans girl, don't date an OnlyFans girl. But the contradiction introduces itself because if you, as an OnlyFans girl, wants a guy to be traditional and adhere to his traditional gender roles, the reality is you're not a traditional woman.
Okay,
Sorry.
but there's gonna be guys that
They're still gonna they're
are gonna
simps.
do that, and that's
Yep.
fine. If they want to do
They're
that, they're
simps.
gonna do that, and if they don't want to do
That's
that,
cool.
don't do that.
That's
it.
totally cool.
And, like it's not that.
That's totally cool, but it's just a contradiction. Like you guys want traditional treatment, but you don't want to be traditional women.
Yeah,
I don't
like
know.
what?
It is tradition. Yes, it is. If your expectation is the guy should pay for the first date, that's a man being a provider. That's him being in his traditional
and
gender
that's
role.
one instance.
Yeah, sure.
Wow,
I know
literally.
it's not. It's not
So
like
I don't think it
It's not-
correlates because paying on a first date is one thing. That's like a small thing with a set intention behind it.
Okay.
Being on OnlyFans is like
That's not
a
traditional.
Bigger, I know, but it's
It's
a
not
bigger part
traditional.
of your life. So it's kind of incomparable in my opinion.
It is a very big part of your life. You're right.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not like just like one instance. One instance would be a guy paying
Right,
for a
but
date.
you guys,
I don't know. I don't think it's
you guys
comparable.
should should actually be in line with your more progressive values. If you think it's like fine to do OnlyFans and do porn, then you should be more open to dating a progressive dude that wants to go 50-50. But nah, you want that
you know
traditional
what? And I
treatment.
agree with you, and I agree
You're not
with
attracted
you,
to
but
that,
the
though.
first-
You're not attracted to
first
that,
date,
though.
First date.
First date?
I think after the
Nah.
first date it's different, but I think first date you should
Nah,
pay.
first date. Nah, I think
I'm just saying if the guy like unless there's like a time restraint and he can't, but if the guy's not picking you up and he's not buying your dinner every single time, fuck that guy.
Exactly.
That's all I'm
Absolutely.
saying. But also,
matter
but
who
the
you
only way
are
that
or
you're
what
gonna
you
get a
do.
guy like that, like a good Southern man, is I've got a lot of real like my friend group is stacked. Like all my boys are awesome. They're freaking jacked. They're about their business. They believe in God. They're all Southern. Like we all hate the government. It's amazing. But like none of us, not a single one of us. And I'm not. Again, I as a Christian love all you guys. Not a single one of us would date an OnlyFans girl.
Okay,
we
but
wouldn't
that's-
even consider it.
That's fine.
I
but,
still think there's
like,
guys
my
with those
ex-boyfriend
values.
was a traditional guy.
And maybe
paid
there
on
is.
the first date.
I'm not from the West Coast. I don't know what it's like over here. So maybe you're right.
I mean, I'm not either. I'm from the East
doing
Coast as well.
porn is one of the
but-
least traditional things that you can do as a woman. So you should be there should be extra room for you dealing with like soy boy progressive types. Y'all should be dating like soy boy progressive lefty dudes
what
that
were
want to
you
go
saying?
50-50 and want to get pegged.
You want us to be on that, but the truth is there are men out there that are traditional.
That's
and
right, because-
successful and really good guys who have a lot going for them and are maybe religious that still would date a girl who does
You're right.
OnlyFans.
You're right.
So maybe
And it's
a lot
pretty
of
sad.
a
It's a
lot
sad
of
state
men
of affairs.
want it a certain way, but truth is, it's not always.
Yeah,
gonna be
because
like
because
that.
paying for
So-
the first date is the most optimum min-max thing you can do to.
Is it though?
is like
I don't
that's-
think
that's
Yes,
on-
because-
Is that like
For real.
maximum?
No. You're misunderstanding what I'm saying.
I think
Paying
that's
for the
very
first date is, in terms of like the option within that specific scenario, like paying for the first date for a girl it's never going to hurt your chances with a girl, but not paying for it might hurt your chances. So it's the most optimum move that you can make if we're looking at this like a chess game. It's the most optimum move when it comes to if your goal is to get the girl.
They want you going on a date with you knowing that you have an OnlyFans.
Okay.
And that's
sure.
really great of you guys to be
That's-
so upfront. Like,
that's
I think
cool.
you all said that you'd be super upfront about that, and that's a really.
That's-
I have found in my experience that girls will hide that from me like in 2 seconds.
and that's
Said
cool.
you were a special case. I think that's definitely
Okay.
very specifically. I think some girls might. I don't think that's right, but I think they would. Maybe.
So that's cool, and like I get it. There's guys that are going to accept that you do OnlyFans. My issue, where I'm coming at it more from, is you as a non-traditional woman are expecting traditional treatment from men. That's where it is. I agree with you. Yeah. There's going to be guys out there that despite how non-traditional you are, whether in behavior, I would argue doing porn is extremely non-traditional. Yeah, there's still guys that are going to give you the traditional treatment because that's what works best when it comes to getting women.
No.
So of course they're going to do it because despite your progressive nature, they're still going to be like,
Paying for dinner is not always
but-
just traditional anymore.
Yeah.
It
And
is
it's
a
also
traditional
not-
gender
It is
role.
I feel like
traditional,
it's
but it's
also
not
not what
only
we expect.
traditional.
It's also
It
like
is what
something
you
I'm
expect.
used to,
It is
something
what
that
you're
I
used to it, ergo you
Yeah,
expect
it was
it.
in the middle of a sentence though. Go ahead.
Yeah, no.
Yes, well, hold on. I'm the host.
I know.
I'm the host. So, yes, I will interrupt whenever I want. Because I have much more discretion when it comes to this conversation. Go ahead with your point.
It's okay. Go ahead.
I finished my point. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I was just saying that it's not even something that I ever said I need a man to do. It's something I've always gotten and something that a man has always done for me. So that's just something I will not settle less for because that's.
So it's an
what I'm-
entitlement. No. Hold on.
It's not an
So
entitlement.
are you less likely to go on a second date if the guy wants to split the bill?
No, it depends on him and the person, but also it's just like now
You just said you would not settle for less. Ergo, you
Yeah,
feel.
I won't because
Ergo, it's an expectation that the guy pay for the first date. If you won't settle for less, that means there's not going to be a second date.
okay, I get where you're coming from. Okay.
Okay,
So-
it's amazing that I have to walk.
You're checkmating like crazy. You're killing it. But I probably got 15 minutes left, so
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
have one big question
Yeah,
that
sure.
I just want to pose out. And this is, we can go around the table, whatever you want to do, but just if you have a comment on it. Do you not want a guy who is so freaking in love with you that if another man is lusting after you? I all my girlfriends have been really beautiful girls. All my dates are pretty girls. I'm not gonna get super butthurt or mad if a guy is I'm getting a drink at a bar talking to somebody else, and I see a guy hitting on her. I understand she's pretty. I would hit on her too. He couldn't have known, but do you not want a guy who's going to be furious if another dude is just sitting there touching himself, watching you naked? I would lose my mind
It's not real though for us. It's not like we're into that or it's not someone we're actually have a connection with or that we're privately texting or actually privately sending our stuff to. It's
But
literally
I think
it's
you.
work.
I see what you're saying. I think the man would have to be able to separate the two.
Yeah,
In my
exactly.
eyes, because I'm on the other end of it, it is separate for
Yeah.
me. It's separate from my personal life.
And some guys can't separate that, which okay, that's fine. And I get that. But
Ms. Earpuffs, did
And
you
that's
have a
why I'm
comment?
seeking for a confident
yeah.
man
Hello?
in my life.
But I think sometimes you like to call it insecure, but it's more sacred. And a woman's body, especially it being her partner, that's sacred to her partner.
You're a freaking gangster, by the way. You have every answer has been just twist the hips and hit it out of the park. That's been sick. All right.
Did you have more, or you want?
Oh, I got all kinds of questions. This is so fun. Okay.
Well,
right.
do you have? You said you have a hard stop here pretty soon, or?
Yeah, I think like 20 minutes. 10,
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Yeah.
Roll by then.
Cool. I'm trying to think if there's any other things I had.
Yeah, I need some McDonald's.
The second Twitter. She has Cindy has a second Twitter post. Okay, let's pull it up. Let's see what it says.
Cindy, I'm not attacking you for the rest of the night.
Why can't boys act like men? Don't scroll down,
That's a
Nick.
hot picture.
Why can't boys act like men? Why can't women not have OnlyFans?
That picture is really good.
Because they need money.
How does that
looks
correlate?
super sexy in it.
Again, but this goes back to the whole like non-traditional women want traditional men.
No, but I
Well,
think
like,
it's
you gotta get off your high horse.
More to that
sex
point,
like
Cindy. What can you define for me, like what you're talking about when you say why can't boys be men? Like, what do you mean?
Sorry.
I think it was just the caption.
You guys did your research. Oh my gosh.
I didn't do any. I didn't know any of your names. I had no
honored.
opposition.
Go ahead, Cindy.
I'm honored. So I think that there was time where I was only attracting just boys. Like it was just
I do that every time.
me kind of like not looking for like an actual man. I was looking for like boys that don't want to act like a man, confident, pays for the first date, just all the qualities that I seek for in a guy that I want to marry.
Anything else besides that stuff? Like pays for first dates? Anything else?
Like, what do you want your home? What do you want your home life to be like? Like, you're married. Like,
Home life?
are you still doing OnlyFans at this point? Like, you're got kids on the way. You guys have your new house. Everything's great. White picket fences. The whole American dream. Like, what do you want your man to be like? Do you want to be doing OnlyFans at that point?
I would do it if he's okay with it, yeah.
But if you met like a badass dude, like a freaking killer, and again, just YouTube, when I say killer, I mean like a guy who like kills his goals, like goes after them hard. You meet like a killer, like, and he was like, "Hey, I want you. Would you stop OnlyFans for me? Would you do it?"
I don't think, I wouldn't do it if I'm losing all my money.
Right, but
You know
at like
what I
what
mean? Like,
point will you say yes?
If he's like providing though.
Yeah, like he says, marry me with. I mean, like, at what point?
If he's providing, yes, but again, going back to what I was talking about, like I want to do my own thing, like things that I like.
You're a non-traditional woman. Why should a guy pay for you on the first date? I mean, that's just
Feminism has
ridiculous.
struck again.
And I'm not.
This is ridiculous.
I'm not even. Okay.
For me,
But here's the
by
crazy
the time
thing.
I get
I say,
married,
wait,
I
wait,
don't
let me
know
hold on. Let me just say this.
OnlyFans.
I say it's ridiculous.
Ambition to the point where it doesn't even involve OnlyFans, just different things that I want to do. Like maybe it's acting, maybe it's singing.
What's up? Okay. So I say it's ridiculous, but the reality is that there's a large. It's like this whole idea of like, oh, these OnlyFans girls, they're never. Granted, I do think it's true. Like they're gonna close their doors to a lot of dudes, but the reality is like women's sexual optionality is so fucking insane that whether they do OnlyFans, whether they don't do OnlyFans. Women's sexual optionality, like an average girl, has the equivalent sexual optionality of like an A-list celebrity, professional athlete, musician, actor, whatever. So even though I say it's ridiculous that they have these expectations, the reality is, even though they're like engaged in these non-traditional behaviors and they're super progressive and liberal and feminist, they can absolutely find dudes who will still do all this traditional shit just because that's the dating marketplace. So it's ridiculous, but like, this is the way they get treated, so they can get it. But frankly, I don't think it's the correct order of things. But perhaps I'm an idealist in that way. But it is what it is. So yeah.
Well, before we move on to your next question, could we flip the script right here? Does anybody? So like, we're both consider ourselves like traditional guys. Do you guys have any questions like towards our end of the spectrum? We'll do a good 5 count.
I mean, why is it like so important to you about like your values? Well, I understand more you because like you're Christian, you know. I don't know if you're Christian, but like, why is it like so important?
Which
that it-
values specifically?
Well, like that a girl is like,
Not a hoe.
well,
Doesn't
not
have a
necessarily not
low
a hoe,
body
but like
count?
you said she had to be short. She needed an outie
Well,
vag, like
bro,
you know, like that
I'm
kind of stuff.
I'm
is
being
like,
like
I have a
I'm being
question,
humorous on
too.
that. So okay, fine. I'll actually address those point by point. I'll date a girl who's 6'5". I'll date a girl who's 4'7". Height is not a deal breaker for me. I have a slight preference for women who are shorter, but it's like, again, I'll date a girl who's taller than me. I'll date a girl who's super short. I really don't care about height. I say that somewhat jokingly, like, oh, if she's 5'2", that's too tall. That's me joking. When it comes to again, same, and I already said this, I prefer women with outies. Is it a deal breaker if she has an innie? Absolutely not. Innies are fucking dope too. Sign me up.